Hi guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to my June TBR video. Long time no see. I'm just going to forget May happened. May wasn't my month. There was a lot of stuff personally going on with me health-wise. I didn't really read. I got into a reading slump. I got into a life slump. I got into a workout rut. May was forgettable and I just want to move past it. I didn't really stick to my TBR if I did read books. I was just trying to keep myself reading so I didn't get into a reading slump. It kind of worked, it kind of didn't. I still read 6 books. That was massively down to my 24-hour readathon challenge I set myself right at the beginning of the month when I was feeling all good, and then as the month got on I felt worse and worse. So that's where we're at. We're gonna swiftly move past it. It is the brand new month. It is officially June, which I cannot believe. It's the 1st of June today. It's my birthday month. We are going away for a little UK getaway this month, so I'm really hoping for better things in June. I'm really hoping to be a bit more feel like myself again. May really wasn't my month, so June, I'm hoping for good things. It's my birthday month. It's officially summer, so hopefully the weather will brighten up my mood and everything as well. So without further ado, let's hop into my TBR. In terms of housekeeping, there are a lot of new releases I'd love to get around to this month. The main one being Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. If you didn't know and you're new around here, Ashley Poston is one of my favourite authors. Every single book read by her that is an adult book, I've given a 5-star to, so I'm very much looking forward to her latest release. I'd also love to get my hands on Frederick Bachman's brand new book, which has just come out. I think it's end of May, or it might even be early June, and it's just about to come out in the UK. But that's My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I'd love to get around to. But other than that, I just really want this TBR to be flexible, to be maneuverable if needed. So I might pull out these prompts, pick certain books for those prompts. So if those books change throughout the month, I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm really just trying to get back in the groove of life in June. So I'm going to be a little bit more lenient with my TBR rules and the prompts I pull, etc, etc. But without further ado, I'm really hoping that pulling my TBR will be a good start to the month, get me excited to read again. And at the very end of the video, I'm actually going to, out of the books that we do select for my June TBR, we're going to pick the book I'm actually going to start reading, because I'm not currently reading any books. I just wanted a clean slate for June, so I'm not currently reading or in the middle of anything right now. So we're going to pick together the book that I'm going to start, hopefully today, if I don't nap on the sofa whilst watching F1. So that's the plan. Without further ado, all the rambling over, let's hop into the first pull/spin. And if you are not new to my channel, you might be like, why are you sat on the floor again, Rachel? And that's because this whole room is being shifted into a nursery. If you know, you know. So a lot of my old setup has started to disappear from this room, so we're back on the floor. So no more standing up to do TBR videos for the next couple of months, which is absolutely fine. But without further ado, no, I always go for a pull, but it's not, it's a spin. Let's do a spin first. I don't really care what happens, because I am just going to be so lenient with myself this month, but I would like the wheel to be a little bit nicer to me. But let's just see what happens. We start with 5, and if we get any additional spins, obviously they add up eventually. So let's go for the first spin. Is it going to focus? There you go. Finally not on Matthew Perry's face. What does it say? Add another spin. Just as I said. We'll add another spin if needed. We are definitely adding another spin, so that's 6 spins in total, which means my first standard prompt of the month is going to be this one, and it is, oh great, it says read a book you've been putting off. So not one of my new releases, sadly, but there are a lot of books on my physical TBR that I want to get read this year. I want to get my entire physical TBR read this year, so there are definitely a lot of books that I've been putting off. I could easily go for a book that was on my main TBR that I didn't get around to, that I want to read. And as I did say, I'm going to be a bit more lenient with myself this month. A book that I put off in May that I still want to get around to in June is The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. I just have a feeling that this book is going to be just what I need. I just have been putting it off because I've been in such a weird, funky mood, not only with my mental health, my physical health, my reading life, everything life in May. So I think finally getting around to a book I'm really looking forward to that I put off in May, which is my little twist on this prompt. I'm going to go for the rule book. This is the second book in the cheat sheet, Duology, I believe, by Sarah Adams. So it's a football romance, so it should be a nice easy book to get through. It follows the main character Nora and Derek. Nora's career lies in the hands of famous NFL player Derek Pender. The problem, he also happens to be her extremely hot colleague ex-boyfriend, and Nora didn't end things as gracefully as she could have back then. Now Derek is her first client as a full-time sports agent, and he's holding a grudge. So enemies to lovers, sports romance, you can't really go wrong, and it's June, so this should be the perfect book. So that's the first book on my June TBR. I was going to say May then. Let's go into our second spin. Standard. Thank you very much, TBR gods. Oh, I've got two. We'll go for the one I'm actually holding. Go for this one. And it says, most recent book added to your Kindle. Okay, this makes me happy. So in May, I did do a little bit of a Kindle download splurge. Not only in like Kindle Unlimited, but in actual buying books on my Kindle as well. So if we go to my library, okay, the most recently added book to my Kindle is one that I brought. A book came out in May, so I'm definitely wanting to read it soon. It's Hannah Orenstein's brand new book. Hannah Orenstein is the author of Head Over Heels, which is a gymnastics retelling that I absolutely adore. Gave 5 stars when I read it in like 2020, 2021. And I haven't really heard anything about this author until she has released her latest book, which is called Main Characters. So that is the book that I'll be reading for this prompt. This is really exciting. I have wanted to get around to it fairly quickly. And this book is basically marketed as a parent trap story for adults. It basically follows 2 half-sisters who aren't really in connection with one another, but when their dad dies, they go back to their family home and they rediscover their family history. It sounds really good. I'm really excited. I was hooked on The Parent Trap. I know that I love and adore Hannah Orenstein's writing because I gave Head Over Heels by her 5 stars twice because I've read it twice now. So I'm really excited to finally get around to reading this one. So far, not too shabby TBR, not too shabby. Let's go for spin number 3. Another standard? Another standard, okay. It's being nice to me. It's so far it's being nice to me. So we'll go for, well, that's definitely 2. Oh, I dropped it. We'll go again. We'll go again. It wasn't meant to be that one. It wasn't meant to be. Oh, I can see shuffle, so I think this might be a Spotify one. Shuffle your Spotify and read a book that matches the song. Okay, I'm excited to do this one, but also absolutely petrified. I've really been into my country music at the minute. I've always been into country, but like this year, heavily into country. So we'll go to my Spotify, go to my 2025 Driving Jams playlist, which is all the songs I've been listening to most in 2025, and go from there and see what we get. Okay, we've got Guilty by Teddy Swims. Guilty by Teddy Swims. I don't really know what this song is about. I just like the vibes. So let me have a little bit of think and I'll come back to you. Okay, I've googled the meaning of the song, and on Google, the meaning of the song, it says, Guilty delves into the guilt Teddy Swim experiences for loving somebody who may not love him back. The song explores vulnerability, acceptance, and the potential consequences of expressing his love. So I feel like we need some sort of like unrequited love romance. So I'm gonna Google unrequited kind of love adult romances and see what kind of pops up, and maybe go for like a rogue option, unless I can find one on my TBR, but I don't think so. We have Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey, but I have no interest in reading that book. Apparently Ali Hazelwood's The Love Hypothesis is an unrequited love, but I read it and I love it. Okay, apparently I've typed in popular unrequited love adult romance books, and Deep End by Ali Hazelwood has come up. I don't know from that whether it's unrequited love or not, but I'm gonna trust Google. I don't know whether they're just recommending like romance books at this point, rather than like actual unrequited love ones. No, apparently it doesn't. So I think I'm going to shuffle again and see what the next song is, and hopefully find a book that fits better with books that I own on my physical TBR or my Kindle TBR. So let's shuffle again. Love Me to Heaven by Jonas Brothers. A lot easier to kind of pick a book for, I think. We just basically need a romance book. Maybe I could have just done a romance book for Guilty by Teddy Swims, but I felt that was much more of an emotional romance. This is more just like an upbeat, light-hearted romance, which I have quite a lot of options for. So let me have a little browse and I will get back. Okay, Google says Love Me to Heaven by Jonas Brothers is a metaphorical phrase that expresses a feeling of being utterly uplifted and blissful by love. So we just need a cute, fluffy romance, which I'm fine with, but I just don't know which one to pick. I'm kind of eyeing up Until I Met You by Amber Rose Gill, which I've had on my kind of like interest in TBR for ages, and it might be the perfect time to read it because it's a kind of like actual holiday romance. It's set on a tropical kind of escapism paradise. Will a tropical escape lead to a perfect romance? It was meant to be the holiday of a lifetime for Samantha, the launch of her travel blog, her best friend's wedding, and hopefully her own marriage proposal, until she finds herself on her way to Tobago, single. And then delusioned with his corporate job on Wall Street, Rome is starting afresh in Tobago. He doesn't need a distraction, especially in the form of a free-spirited travel blogger, but something about Samantha intrigues him, and then a romance blossoms between the two of them. So I'm going to go for this one. Also, kind of the Spotify vibes of Love Me to Heaven is also blue, so that kind of also works. It's a stretch, we're going with it. I'm going to put Until I Met You by Amber Rose Gill on my TBR for the third prompt. I think we're halfway. That was a little bit of a faffy one. Let's go into spin number 4. Double up prompts. Okay, if I have to. So I pulled 2 prompts and I've got to double both of them up to make one book. I'm trying to like just hold 2. Okay, these are the 2. Hopefully they work in conjunction with one another. So we have for me is read a book you wish wasn't on your physical TBR. Spilling some tea here. Be careful if you gifted me a book. Okay, I just read that one. And read a fantasy book. Those two actually do work hand in hand with each other. Read a fantasy book. Those two can work very well in conjunction with one another, because there's one that I feel like finally needs to get off my TBR, and that's These Hollow Vows. I've tried to read this twice now. I've not managed to get my teeth into it either time. It is a YA book. The reason I picked this book up was because it was kind of like marketed as The Kiss of Deception in like a new way, and I absolutely love The Kiss of Deception. It's a princess kind of love triangle situation, and this one says that Bree would do anything before making a deal with the Fae. Death is better than their fictitious schemes, but when her sister is taken by the sadistic king of the Unseelie, Bree breaks her own rules and agrees to steal 3 magical relics from her rival Seelie court in exchange for her sister's return. So I think it's like sister, whatnot. I'm sure there's a romance in there as well. Caught between 2 dangerous courts, Bree must decide who to trust with her loyalty and with her heart. So there's definitely a romance in there as well. So I've tried 3 times to charm. I've tried twice. This will be my 3rd time attempting it. If I can't get my teeth into it the 3rd time, I am going to unhaul it. But this is my final chance for this book. So these 2 prompts did kind of like work well together. So that is the 4th book on my TBR for June. We're going into spin number 5. Free pass. Okay, we're dropping my TBR back down to 5 books, which is exciting. So this will be our final spin, unless TBR gods decide to do something else to me right now. So let's spin for the final time, hopefully. Double up on prompts. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can hopefully get at least one of the books I want to read this month on there, which is like Sounds Like Love. I would love to get that book on there, but I think I've got rid of all my new release prompts, so we'll go for these 2. And the first one is, oh, another long one. It says read a book with an even amount of pages Okay, we'll have to trust Goodreads with that if we can get Sounds Like Love on my TBR. And the second prompt is, oh god, day. Read a book you know nothing about. Okay, that's fine. I can work with that, but it means I can't get any of my new releases really on to my TBR, but that's fine. Hopefully with only having 5 books on my TBR, I will have some wriggle room to get some books I do really want to read that I've mentioned in this video, just read via mood reading. So, a book with an even amount of pages that I know nothing about. A book with an even amount of pages that I know nothing about. I think my Kindle might be a good shout for this because I tend to just download books that I have heard of, but don't really know what they're actually about onto my Kindle rather than like buying them. And a book that I was kind of really wanting to read this month was The Love of My Afterlife, which has been kind of going around recently by Christy Greenwood. So I wonder how many pages this one is. 390! Okay, that's definitely an option. I could read that one. That's good to know. Oh, I kind of also want to read... I've already got an Ali Hazelwood book on my TBR this month. Or do we? Did we go for Deep End in the end? I can't remember what other book I've put on. No, we didn't put Deep End on in the end. So we haven't got an Ali Hazelwood, so it's Checkmate. Even numbers. It is 368. Okay, what else do I kind of fancy on reading? I don't really know anything about Better Than the Movies. I absolutely loved the first Lynn Painted I read, which was Betting on You. So then I downloaded Better Than the Movies when it was on KU. So 364. Okay, we're going good with like the books that I want to read that actually have even amount of pages. Oh, and I did also say that I wanted to read a page Toon soon, and the one that I have on Kindle is Someone I Used to Know. 381. Okay, can't read that one. Another Ali Hazelwood on my Kindle is Love Theoretically, which is a fake dating, which is my favourite trope. So how many pages does this one have? 400. Oh my god, we have so many options. So many options. And then 2 that I really know nothing about are the 2 that I like first downloaded when I first got my Kindle, which is Summer at the Cornish Farmhouse by Lynn B. Holton, or The Little Board Game Cafe by Jennifer Page. So we'll just check both of these and see if these are also in contention. 313, so no. 365, so no. So I think our options are Check and Mate, Better Than the Movies, or Love of the Afterlife. And I think I'm going to go for Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. And I don't actually know anything. Someone recommended me this book in my comments, so I just kind of added it to my interested in, and then when I saw that it was only like $2.99 on Kindle, I was like, I'll just pick it up, and now I kind of really want to read it, so I don't really know what it's about. So we'll find out together now quickly before signing off this video. A recently deceased woman meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before 10 days are up. If she wasn't dead already, Daphne would be dying of embarrassment. Not only did she die by choking on a microwavable burger, she's also now standing in her sparkling shine at nighty in front of her hottest man she's ever seen, and he's smiling at her. As they start to chat, something else becomes background noise. That is, until someone comes running through the door yelling something about a huge mistake and sends a dreamy stranger back down to Earth. And here Daphne will think her luck might be different in the afterlife. When Daphne is offered a deal in which she can return to Earth and reconnect with the mysterious man, she jumps at the opportunity to find her possible soulmate and a fresh start. But to find him in a city of millions, Daphne is going to have to listen to her heart, learn to ask for help, and perhaps even see the magic in the life she was leaving behind. It sounds really refreshing, and it's not a synopsis I've really heard about before, so that is definitely going on my TBR for June. So overall, as a quick recap, we got a book you've been putting off, so I'm putting The Rule Book on by Sarah Adams because I didn't read it in May. And then we got the book most recently added to my Kindle, which was Main Characters by Hannah Orenstein. And then we got a book that matches your Spotify shuffle, which we got Love Me to Heaven by Jones Brothers, so I'm putting Until I Met You on there. And then we got the prompts of a book that I wish wasn't on my physical TBR and a fantasy book, so I'm putting These Hollow Vows on begrudgingly. And then we got a book that I know nothing about and also has even amount of pages, so we're putting on Love My Afterlife on by Kirsty Greenwood. So a minimal, simple, hopefully fun TBR for June. I'm just hoping to mood read and see what kind of happens in June, but this is a little stack that I can pick between if I'm not really sure what to read next. But the last final thing I wanted to do in this video is actually pick the books I'm gonna hopefully try and start today, because it is June 1st and I want to get my teeth into a brand new book because I'm not currently reading anything. So we're gonna put all of those books into a random number generator. So we're gonna go from 1 to 5. from order of what I actually picked out, and then see which book I will be reading. So let's get a number random generator up. Random number generator. I would really like Love of My Afterlife, Main Characters, or the Sarah Adams book. So 1, 2, or 5 is the numbers I want, and I'll generate it a few times because there's not many numbers to flip between. I'll shut my eyes. Number 5. Okay, that is Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. Will be the first book that I read in June, which I'm really excited for, and it's on my Kindle, which makes reading a lot more easy. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give this video a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below to see future content from me. I do anything from weekly reading vlogs, monthly TBRs, monthly wrap-ups, and any other book content that you can think of on your channel. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any, and I will see you in my next video.